Stop reading self-help books. Stop following motivational speakers. Stop looking for answers outside yourself. For 30 years, I've studied people who have achieved the impossible, healing terminal illnesses, reversing aging, transforming their entire lives through thought alone. What I've discovered is that we've been approaching transformation completely backward. You don't need more information, more techniques, more strategies. What you need is to understand the quantum technology that's already built into your biology. Today, I'm going to show you how to activate it. Right now, in this exact moment, something extraordinary is happening inside you. Your heart beats 86,000 times a day without you thinking about it. Your cells are regenerating this very second. And your brain, this incredible quantum computer, is processing millions of bits of information, creating your reality right here, right now. You've been waiting for this moment your entire life. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but this precise instant where everything changes. I've seen it countless times in our workshops. That split second when someone's eyes light up with understanding. That moment when they finally get it. They realize they've been living on autopilot, running the same programs, playing out the same patterns, day after day, year after year. Think about it. How many times have you gone to bed at night promising yourself tomorrow will be different, only to wake up and repeat the exact same patterns? We do this because our brain is wired to the past. It's like we're wearing invisible chains, bound by memories and emotions of who we used to be. But here's the thing, those chains aren't real. They're just familiar neural patterns, comfortable chemical states that we've mistaken for our identity. I remember working with Sarah, a woman who had been dealing with chronic anxiety for 20 years. She came to one of our events thinking she was broken, thinking this was just who she was. But in one profound moment of clarity, she understood something that changed everything. She wasn't her past. She wasn't her anxiety. She wasn't even the person who walked into that room. She was pure consciousness, pure potential, ready to create something entirely new. This is your moment of clarity. This is your time to break free from the person you've been rehearsing being. The universe didn't bring you here by accident. This information didn't find you by chance. You're here because something inside you knows it's time. Time to stop living in the past. Time to stop being defined by your emotions. Time to become the creator of your future instead of the victim of your past. Your thoughts aren't just abstract concepts floating in your mind. They're real physical energy. Every time you have a thought, you're sending electrical signals through hundreds of billions of neural connections in your brain. Each thought creates a cascade of chemical reactions, releasing molecules of emotion that flood every cell in your body. That's not philosophy. That's biology. That's physics. That's you changing your internal world with every single thought. Scientists used to think the quantum field was empty space. Now we know it's full of infinite possibilities, infinite potential waiting to be observed into reality. You're not separate from this field. You're swimming in it. You're part of it. You're creating in it every moment of every day. When you understand this, really understand it, everything changes. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the creator of your reality. Look at your life right now, every aspect of it, your health, your relationships, your career, your emotions. They're all the product of your past thoughts and feelings. If you keep thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same feelings, and doing the same things, you'll keep creating the same life. It's simple cause and effect. But here's the beautiful truth. You can change those thoughts right now. I've seen people heal themselves from chronic conditions by changing their thoughts. I've witnessed individuals transform their lives by shifting their energy. These aren't miracles. This is science. When you change your energy, you change how atoms and molecules organize themselves in your body. When you change your thoughts, you literally change your brain's neural circuitry. The habit of being yourself, that's the biggest challenge. Most people spend their whole lives running unconscious programs from their past. Wake up, check the phone, worry about money, stress about work, scroll through social media, go to bed, repeat. They're stuck in loops of automatic behavior, creating the same brain chemistry over and over. But you're not most people, not anymore. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening in your environment and what you're thinking about. When you sit down to meditate, when you practice feeling the emotions of your future before it happens, your brain and body start changing before anything in your external world shifts. That's how powerful you are. That's the science of transformation. Right now, in this moment, new possibilities are available to you. They've always been there, hidden in the quantum field, waiting for you to tune into them. But you can't access these possibilities with your old energy, your old thoughts, your old self. You need to become someone new. The good news? Your brain is designed for exactly this kind of change. Your past isn't your future unless you live there. Every morning when you wake up, your brain networks activate in the same patterns, triggering the same circuits, producing the same chemicals, creating the same feelings. It's like your brain has a default setting, but you're not trapped by these settings. You have the power to change them right now. The subtitle of this book has nothing to do with the original title. It's actually a setup for the feelings I want you to live by right now. Consider this. Every time you learn something new, your brain physically changes. When you focus your attention on a new thought, new neural connections form. When you practice a new way of being, these connections get stronger. This isn't just theory. We can see these changes on brain scans. Your brain is literally reshaping itself based on where you put your attention. I worked with a businessman who had been angry for 30 years. Every morning he'd wake up and rehearse his anger about past events. His body was addicted to the stress hormones. But one day during a meditation, he caught himself. He realized he was choosing anger every single day. In that moment of awareness, he stepped into the present and something remarkable happened. His brain started creating new patterns. The biology of change is fascinating. When you stay present, when you stop dragging your past into your future, your body starts producing different chemicals. Instead of stress hormones that keep you stuck in survival mode, you start producing chemicals of growth and repair. Your genes begin expressing themselves differently. Your immune system gets stronger. Your body literally begins to heal itself. But here's the key. You can't create a new future while you're remembering your past. Every time you remember a past event, you're neurologically wiring that event more deeply into your brain. You're installing the very programs you're trying to change. That's why presence is so powerful. It breaks the cycle. In the present moment, you're free from all those old programs. You're free to create something new. Your brain doesn't care if you're experiencing something in your environment or just thinking about it. It produces the same chemicals either way. So when you sit in stillness, when you practice being present, when you focus on what you want to create rather than what you want to avoid, you're literally rewiring your brain for a new future. And so if you're looking for more noise, and here's something most people never realize. We can become addicted to our emotions, just like any other substance. Your body doesn't know the difference between feeling anxious because you're in actual danger or feeling anxious because you're thinking about your bills. It produces the same chemicals either way. And just like a drug, your cells start craving these chemicals even when they're making you miserable. Think about the last time you tried to change something in your life. Maybe you started strong, felt great for a few days, but then something triggered you, a memory, a person, a situation, and suddenly you were right back in your old patterns. That's not weakness. That's chemistry. Your body was having withdrawals from its emotional addiction. And the drugs exacerbated the pattern that you were already in. So whenever you try to change something in your life, it's likely the same chemistry. Your body was having withdrawals from its emotional addiction. I remember a woman in our advanced workshop who had been living in fear for decades after a traumatic event. Every morning, she'd wake up scanning her environment for danger. Her body was stuck in survival mode, pumping out stress hormones, living in a constant state of fight or flight. She didn't realize she had become addicted to the very emotions that were keeping her stuck. But here's a fascinating thing about survival emotions. They're designed for short-term use. Your body isn't meant to live in constant stress, constant anxiety, constant anger. These emotions are like an emergency response system. When you're constantly activating the system with your thoughts, you're telling your body to prioritize survival over growth, healing, and creation. The chemistry of survival emotions is powerful. When you're living in stress, your body redirects blood flow from your internal organs to your extremities. Your immune system weakens. Your brain's frontal lobe, the part responsible for planning, decision making, and creating your future, becomes less active. You literally lose access to the part of your brain that helps you change. But you have a superpower, your awareness. The moment you become aware of these patterns, you gain the power to change them. Your circumstances don't have to change for you to change your emotional state. You can decide right now to stop waiting for something outside of you to make you feel different. I've seen people in the most challenging circumstances completely transformed their lives by making this one fundamental shift. They stopped letting their environment control their thinking and started using their thinking to change their environment. They broke free from their emotional addictions by consciously choosing different thoughts, different feelings, different states of being. Your brain is not hardwired, it's softwired by experience. Every time you learn something new, every time you have a different thought, every time you choose a different emotion, you're physically changing your brain. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, but I call it your power to reinvent yourself. When you wake up every morning thinking about your problems, your brain strengthens the circuits of those problems. It's like walking the same path in a field of grass. The more you walk it, the more defined that path becomes. But here's the beautiful truth. You can create new paths at any moment. Your brain doesn't care how long you've been thinking a certain way. It only cares about what you're thinking right now. I've watched people in our workshops completely transform their brains in a matter of days. One man had been experiencing depression for 15 years. His brain had become wired for suffering. But when he understood that his repeated thoughts of past trauma were keeping him anchored to the past, something shifted. He started focusing his attention on his future instead of his past. Within 4 days, his brainwaves changed completely. So his depression lifted. He created new neural networks simply by changing where he placed his attention. The power of focused attention is extraordinary. When you concentrate on a new possibility, a new way of being, you're literally building new neural networks. It's like you're laying down new electrical circuits in your brain. But here's the key. You have to sustain that attention. A fleeting thought won't do it. You need to maintain that focus until those new circuits become stronger than the old ones. This is why meditation is so powerful. When you sit in stillness, when you direct your attention toward what you want to create instead of what you want to avoid, you're literally rewiring your brain. You're training your neurons to fire in new patterns. You're creating new possibilities at the physical level of your brain. Keep this in mind. Remember, your brain is always changing. The question is, are you directing that change or is it happening by default? Are you strengthening the circuits of your past or are you building the networks of your future? The power is in your hands, or more accurately, in your focused attention. Everything in the universe is energy and information. That chair you're sitting on, it's mostly empty space with particles held together by energy fields. Your body, the same thing. Your thoughts, they're energy too. When you really understand this, you realize something amazing. You're not separate from anything. You're part of a vast field of energy and infinite possibilities. This quantum field responds to your attention, to your intention, to your energy. It's like a cosmic mirror reflecting back whatever signal you're sending out. When you're living in stress and fear, when your thoughts are focused on survival, you're sending out a very limited signal. But when you raise your energy, when you align your thoughts and feelings with what you want to create, you begin accessing entirely new possibilities. So at our workshops, I've witnessed incredible moments of transformation when people truly grasp this concept. A woman who had been struggling with a chronic condition for years suddenly understood that her body wasn't separate from this field of energy. She stopped seeing herself as broken and started seeing herself as pure potential. Within 3 days, her symptoms began to change. Her body started responding. The field isn't just responding to your conscious thoughts, it's responding to your entire state of being. That's why affirmations alone often don't work. You can't think positive thoughts while feeling negative emotions and expect them to stop. You have to find what you want to create. Your thoughts and feelings align, and your energy matches your intentions. That's when magic happens. This isn't about waiting for something outside of you to change. It's about changing your inner state so rapidly that the part of the field has no choice but to reorganize itself around your new way of being. You're not reaching for possibilities, you're becoming them. You're not hoping for change, you're embodying it. This is how you manifest from the field. This is how you create reality. Time isn't what you think it is. Your brain creates the experience of time by processing memories of the past and expectations of the future. But in the quantum field, all possibilities exist right now. Your future isn't coming, it's already here, waiting for you to tune into it. When you sit in meditation with your eyes closed, when you lose track of where you are and when you are, you're stepping into a realm where time doesn't exist. In this space, you're pure consciousness. You're not bound by your past experiences or limited by your current circumstances. You're free to select any possibility from the field of infinite potential. I remember working with a musician who had been struggling to create for years. Every time he sat down to write, his mind would flood with memories of past failures, past criticisms. But one day during a meditation, he experienced something profound. He stopped being the person who was stuck and became pure creative energy. In that timeless space, music flowed through him effortlessly. He accessed something beyond his memories, beyond time itself. This is the power of the eternal now. When you're truly present, you're not dragging your past into your future. You're not living from memory, you're living from possibility. Your brain stops recording time linearly, and you enter a state where all possibilities exist simultaneously. This is where true creation happens. Think about it. Every great inventor, artist, or innovator throughout history has accessed this state. They saw possibilities that didn't exist in the physical world yet. They weren't limited by what had been done before. They created from pure consciousness, from the field of all possibilities. You have this same ability. When you meditate, when you move into heart coherence, when you align your thoughts and feelings with your future instead of your past, you're accessing this timeless dimension. You're no longer trying to change your future. You're selecting it from the field of infinite possibilities that exists right now. Your body is listening to your thoughts right now. Every cell in your body has receptors that respond to the molecules of emotion you create with your mind. When you change your thoughts, you literally change your biological chemistry. This isn't metaphysical. This is straight science. Let me share something remarkable about your genes. Your DNA isn't your destiny. Your genes are constantly being influenced by your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs about life. Scientists call this epigenetics, the study of how your environment signals your genes to turn on or off. But here's the amazing part. Your thoughts and emotions create an internal environment that affects your genes just as much as your external environment does. I've documented cases where people have activated their body's natural healing abilities simply by changing their mental and emotional state. One participant in our advanced workshops had high blood pressure for 12 years. During an intensive meditation where she maintained elevated emotions for 3 days straight, her body began responding differently. Her blood pressure normalized without any physical intervention. Her genes were responding to her new internal environment. Your cells are constantly breaking down and building up. Your skin replaces itself every month. Your liver rebuilds itself every 6 weeks. Your skeleton reconstructs itself every 3 months. This means you have the power to influence how your body rebuilds itself through your thoughts and emotions. You're not stuck with the body you have. You're constantly creating a new one. Creating lasting change isn't about forcing your body to be different. It's about maintaining a new state of being long enough for your body to catch up with your mind. When you consistently think, feel, and act in new ways, your body has no choice but to change. Your cells literally reorganize themselves to reflect your new way of being. Now it's time to put this knowledge into action. Your morning routine is the foundation of transformation. Before you check your phone, before you start responding to the world, take time to create your internal state. Sit up straight, close your eyes, and breathe deeply. This simple act signals your body that it's safe to move from survival to creation. The key to effective meditation isn't about clearing your mind, it's about maintaining an elevated emotion while your body is in stillness. Start by placing your attention on your heart. Feel appreciation, feel gratitude, feel love. When you generate these emotions on demand, you're training your brain and body to work together in a new way. In our workshops, we teach a specific breath pattern. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, breathe out through your mouth for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts. This breath pattern helps balance your autonomic nervous system. As you breathe, keep focusing on elevated emotions. You're literally changing your brain chemistry with each breath. Throughout your day, catch yourself when you fall into old emotional patterns. Stop, take a breath, and ask yourself, what emotion do I want to experience? Then generate that emotion from within. Don't wait for something outside of you to change how you feel. You have the power to choose your emotional state moment by moment. Remember, consistency is key. A few minutes of elevated emotions won't create lasting change. You need to maintain these practices until they become your new normal. Your transformation isn't a one-time event. It's a daily recommitment to becoming someone new. You're standing at the threshold of something extraordinary. Everything you've learned, everything you've understood, everything you've practiced, it all comes together in this moment. This is where you step fully into your power, where you claim your ability to create reality. Your future isn't coming. It exists right now in the quantum field. When you close your eyes and feel the emotions of your future as if it's already happened, you're not pretending. You're tuning into a reality that already exists. Your job is to keep matching that energy until your external world has no choice but to reflect your internal state. I've seen people heal themselves from incurable conditions. I've witnessed individuals transform their lives in ways that defy logic. These aren't miracles. This is what happens when you understand and apply the laws of how reality works. This is what happens when you stop being the victim of your past and become the creator of your future. Becoming supernatural isn't about gaining special powers. It's about transcending the limits of what you thought was possible. It's about moving beyond the programming of your past, beyond the conditioning of your genes, beyond the boundaries of time and space. You do this not through force, but through coherence, by aligning your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions with the future you're creating. Right now, in this moment, you have everything you need. Your brain is ready to create new networks. Your body is ready to express new genes. The quantum field is ready to respond to your new energy. All that's required is your decision to stop living as the person you've been and start living as the person you're becoming.